looking back to last season, obviously reigning pro champions back in it this year, Inori Rose and Mia Rose absolutely blew the field apart with their performance, as are the reigning Pro-Am champions Jenny Kamugli and Declan Bowler back in it for another season.
Yes, very much the case, David. Good evening, everyone. Firstly, it's a pleasure to be a part of the first round of the season. Really, really good to see how the SimGrid and obviously Thrustmaster Rockets have now come back with Season 3, a great calendar. But yeah, Ayanori and Mia Rose stand out, like literally decimated the field. But things have changed for Season 3. You know, we had GT4s for Season 1, GT3s for Season 2, but we now have pretty much the most prominent, high-profile spec series car that they're going to be using, the Lamborghini Super Trofeo. And this is where now it is about a combination of the skills of the respective drivers in every one of the 6 races this season for Season 3.
Certainly is the case. So as Alex just mentioned, their Lamborghini Super Trofeo is the weapon of choice for the teams this season. And of course, as always, it's an evolving season. It's an evolving series. They try and always give a level playing field to all of the drivers. And the Lamborghini Super Trofeo really adds to that. Also, in terms of the way that the rule structure is set up, instead of the 2 30-minute stints that we had before, it's now split into 3 20-minute stints with a maximum maximum stint time, of 23 minutes. Important to remember that, because that now means that if you have an accident right at the beginning of the race, you have to keep going. You have to keep that car coming through so that you can get into the stint window, into the pit window, and with the mandatory pit stops as well, really adds that strategy into the mix. So a very, very interesting race is what we're going to get. 60 minutes on the go. We've got qualifying on the go just now, but let's have a look at the track first with track guide from Maren Edwards.
Hi, I'm Maren Edwards, your tour guide for this lap of Zolder, and since my teammate Simon decided to set a new PB when recording this lap, I'm gonna have to talk really fast if I want to stand a chance of keeping up with him. For turn 1, get as close to the wall as you can just before you go under that billboard, break into third, try to catch the apex if you can, and take full advantage of the exit curb as you leave. For turn 2, the sand on the left-hand side is your cue to brake, hug that apex curb, let the car drift out, build that power up, keep the foot down, lather, rinse, repeat for turn 3. On the left at the end of the sand, you'll see a footpath. That's your cue to brake for turn 4. Really focus on maximizing your corner exit speed, building that power back up as quickly as you can, and get the car over to the right-hand side for turn 5. Now on the right, just past the 100-meter board is a light post. Brake in a straight line when you see it, then get back on the power and, well, hold on tight. Head up the hill towards the sweeping left-hander of turn 6. Hug the inside curb as much as you can, and when you see the red and white painted barrier on the left, that's your cue to brake for turn 7. Now, curiously, turn 7 includes the chicane we just went through, this corner, and the one ahead. Do with that what you need to, but just remember to use all the curb and available tracks so that you can carry as much speed as possible. Keep the car on the left-hand side, and at the 100-meter board, brake for turn 8. Now, I promise you, you can take turn 9 flat, and that's because it's not so much a corner as it is this little kink in the road. For turn 10, on the right, just past the 100-meter board is a light post. Brake when you see it. Key here, scrub off as little speed as you can while still maintaining control of the car, and make the curbs your best friends. Then it's just a flat-out dash to the finish line, and there you are, a lap of Zolder.
So a huge thank you to the 587 driver of Maren Edwards for providing that awesome track guide there. You'll see them out in action in the 587 CMS Pro Blue Racing Machine alongside Simon Salomon as well. Qualifying underway then, and again it is a very different affair that we've got for qualifying because we have 2 separate qualifying sessions going on right now. So what actually happens is the first 10 minutes is going to be for the Pro-Am and the Am teams, and then the final 10 minutes is going to be the Pro and the Silver teams that will be taken out on the qualifying session. So, yeah, a very good evening. Apologies for that little bit of a bumpy start. Unfortunately, I was able to hear myself through my ears, and it's, I don't know if you've ever tried those speech jammer apps, but yeah, hearing myself and try to talk at the same time just never works. So, apologies about that, but we're back, we're here in force, and Alex, it's fantastic to have you along to this series, but, I mean, the gauntlet is, if Season 2 is anything to go by, I mean, this is some scary, scary pace that we could be in store for tonight.
Yeah, and also the fact, David, that last season we had 2 categories. Now we've got 4, so it's double the ante, double the action. Out of the 31 teams, there's been a bit of a drama there for CMS Pro's Marion Edwards there. Annalise Riot, who has now ended up joining in the fray. She actually joined us in Season 2, so she's running in the Team Cake Mascara and Hope Lamborghini alongside Alice Horton. So there are several all-female racing teams in More Female Races by Thrustmasters. Have to give a shout out to the Amazon for actually hosting the meet and greet event that took place at Monza last week, which was the latter stages of the qualifying for More Female Races by Thrust. And look who she's partnered with, none other than Giorgio Simonini from GTWR. And Simonini's one of the guys that won the inaugural World Cup, which is coming back soon for the Thrustmaster 24 Hours of Spa-Francorchamps, qualifying on the 13th of May, and then we go once round the clock from the 15th at around about 1 o'clock Central European summertime.
Yeah, very much looking forward to that. But, I mean, the Super Trofeos, I think, adds a wonderful dynamic now to this new season here of More Female Races. With 4 minutes left to go in the qualifying, it really evens everything out in the playing field, doesn't it, Alex? Because there's no more excuses now. There's no more, oh well, this car doesn't perform well on this track or these conditions or anything like that. It's now all in the same car, all with whatever setup that they have managed to work themselves into. And really, I think it is only going to add to the element of excitement and enthrallment that we get tonight.
Yeah, I mean, the Super Trofeo, it's a little bit less aerodynamically efficient than, say, the Huracan Evo GT3 bigger brother. I mean, this car's still got a lot of power behind it, 610 brake horsepower, it's a 5.2 litre V10 engine, it's mid-mounted, rear-wheel drive, 6-speed gearbox. We're on board with the number 316 of Andy the Lab from Strix Racing, but Josie Austin in the 137 has gone up to the top of the timesheets with just under 4 minutes to go, and Andy the Lab, she now improves up to P5, but we do have a Kazakhstan husband and wife team, and there's always an ongoing joke between me and David Christie. So it's Azarotskaya from, and she's a real life racer. She's actually featured on the W Series website, and Josie Austin has just gotten quicker, a 1 minute 32.667. So yeah, the it is a husband and wife team. So yeah, and she's also she's turned her hand to ACC. So it's really good to see that we always have the real life races as well. Sarah Fair now comes across line, goes P4. So the cupcakes variation of Team Cake, also bringing. So it looks like the Team Cake support crew is definitely well and truly prevalent in the chat here tonight.
For sure. And I mean, it's quite an impressive turnout for Team Cake in general. You've got Team Cake, Mascara and Hope, that's the number 13 team. You've got Team Cake, Angel Cake, which is the 137. I'm sure I saw at least, the 18 Team Cake Cupcakes outfit of Sarah Fair and Sebastian Handler. So yeah, great out for them, and up into P4, returning as well from season 2, but we're having that pointed out. That's actually a very good point, Alex. With in fact, I'll come back to that in just a second as we head towards the last throws of qualifying for the AM drivers just now. We've got about a minute here. But if you've just joined us on the stream, very warm welcome. If you're wondering what this is More Female Racers by Thrustmaster Rockets. It's a esports competition set up by the SimGrid in an attempt to try and get more female racers, exactly as it says on the tin, into sim racing and welcome them into the fold here. So if you fancy getting yourself taking part, then you can get yourself registered for the next season. But Ozaretskovskaya up by, what's that, about 200-300 of a second now, half a second just now, goes across the line, but it's invalid. Alex, a point I wanted to make earlier actually, a number of teams are returning from Season 2 with the same co-driver and the same main driver. What do you think that's going to bring to the table in terms of understanding each other as a driver?
I think forgetting about the machinery that they're piloting for Season 3, if you already have that chemistry as a team working, you know who's going to have the stronger points on which particular parts of the circuit, but then also who's going to be the one that's going to go out for quali. You know, you've got to sort of really decide, well, am I weaker here? You know, I mean, good to see W Series Sarah Moore back. She was in Season 2, she was in Season 2, so very good friend of myself as well. Worked with her quite a few times. But, yeah, just seeing a lot of people. Denise Pope back from Season 2 as well. And she's with Rob Taplin. The thing is that as long as you've got that chemistry working, if you found that has worked and you come into Season 3... As I said, the machinery doesn't come into it. It's about how you work together, because you're both going to be each other's cheerleader. Pardon the terminology, but Ozaretskovskaya is half a second up. That could put 46 and it looks like.
I'll just jump in for a sec there, Alex, because unfortunately I think we need to chip in and get him 50p in. Second for Ozaretskovskaya. So just watching at the moment, there we go, yellow flag, the car spins round a little bit too much there. That is going to be the last laps then for these cars coming through. And again, just to bring you up to speed with what's happening, 10 minutes for Pro-Am and Am teams, and then it moves on to the Pro and the Silver teams for the final 10 minutes. And this is where all the fast cars are really going to come out. And it'll give us a good idea as to the pace of where Pro and Silver match up with the Pro Am and Am teams on there. So what happens is that they're only fighting on track against themselves. So they can fight on track against, you know, everybody else. But the Pro-Am and Am teams and Pro teams and Silver teams are only fighting within their individual class. So 8 minutes 20 left to go as we see Denise Pope here for the NSN X Wild Things Racing, number 79. It's so tempting as a commentator to say in the Lamborghini Super Trofeo, but of course it's redundant because they're all in the Super Trofeos for Season 3. A wonderful track here in Belgium. Really doesn't, I think, get the credit or attention that it deserves. Very well known in terms of the high-profile races. It actually even hosts an international German national motorbike event here as part of its away round. It's one heck of an away round to come over to Belgium. But 7:40 left to go in qualifying. Still, some of the cars making their way around, just getting heat into the tyres. And this is what they're going to do for these first couple of minutes, because have a look at that 956 as well of Enore Roads. That is definitely going to be one to watch tonight. This is going to be incredible for the Jean Lacey Esports Academy. However, there is a lot of pace on show tonight with all of the drivers, especially say the 977. It's currently Tamea Benchik in that just now, teamed up with Adam Pinces for the AAA Esports X Imperium. I'm very, very much looking forward to that. Now, if my ears don't deceive me and my magic camera says so, I think we've got Alex back.
You should do indeed, David. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Like you were sitting right next to me, Alex.
Yeah, socially distanced, of course. Yeah, I mean, Zolder's hosted quite a lot over the years. Blancpain Sprint Series, DTM, Champ Car, WTCR, amongst other things. It, like you say, it is a track that really does not get the credit it deserves, but, it's one of the shortest, I think, one of the shortest tracks we have. Denise Pope making her way through towards the far part of the circuit. This is a track that, if you get it right, it's truly rewarding. If you get it wrong, it can bite back really, really hard, and that's one of the things as well. And have to give a shout out as always. Denise Pope brings always fantastic liveries on the cars that she races in.
Yeah, that is something looking really, really good indeed. And in fact, so good is the talent that Denise Pope. She is actually one of the official livery makers credited in the game in Assetto Corsa Competizione. So, yeah, amazing, amazing work. I've tried to do it myself in various platforms, and I've got to be honest, I think it would be actually preferable to hand Crayolas and a drawing pad to a 5-year-old. They may come up with some better results than what I'm able to do. But I've just heard from Mike Kiai passing that it should be an Etch-a-Sketch, actually. To be fair, that probably would be better as well. Maybe a little bit neater as well, Alex.
Well, at least you haven't done the Ivan Shamatinsky special with the highlighters when we had GT4s at Alton Park. Both me and Lewis McGlade, I think we're still reeling from that. I don't think my eyesight will ever be the same. So I think you're quite fortunate for being told Etch-a-Sketch.
Yeah, exactly. Back to the case in hand, though. 5 minutes left to go in qualifying here. Now we're starting to see the times come in, and as if by complete magic, there you go. Honore Rose, 1:30.624. It begins 0.6 of a second, but the field is still spread out very, very much right now. In fact, great to see that a majority of the field there, from 7th place all the way down to, say, 18th place there, split by just about 1.5 seconds there. So real melees are going to be happening tonight. But again, Rose is just absolutely on it right now. But one person that is definitely pushing it to the extreme right now, Alu Gobi, currently coming through the second half of the circuit just now. 0.6 up, currently on pace to match Honore Rose, if not beat, in that car just now. Got pole in Silverstone in Season 2 and beat Honore Rose, one of the few teams to actually have done that. So, I mean, there is a lot riding on this just now. And if that happens on this very first round, oh my goodness me, the guns are drawn across the line. 1/10 of a second behind Honore Rose there. Huge lap there. Sarah Dove is about 3/10 up. That should be enough to take her up to P3 or possibly P4. We'll see. Goes across the line. P4 for Sarah Dove. Great result there. But still 3:25 left on the clock, Alex. And again, now they've got those safety laps in, this is the chance to really push the tempo.
Yeah, the Amazon, she's just up there. She's just gone up to P7 on that effort. So GTWR, they brought out, like they've done with the SimGrid VCO World Cup. They've really done a really good job of bringing a lot of drivers in. But Benchik looking to try and improve. She's currently a couple of tenths up and goes across the line and goes ahead of Sarah Dove. So rounds out road two. Denise Pope, would you believe this? I'm now going to say these words. She is up by 0.5 seconds coming out of the final corner. Where does Pope go? P6. And she's partnered with Rob Taplin. Jenny Kamugli, however, David, is 7/10 up at the moment. This could put her, and that could put the Turn 1 Meets Biscuit 101 Lamborghini up into the top 3 rows. She's now coming through the Boulderberg Bocht, and this pace is still really going for it. Jenny Kamugli lost a couple of tenths, so she's about 0.5 seconds up. That still will put her around about row 4. You can just see how hard these drivers are pushing. I mean, it doesn't matter what championship it is here on the sim grid. Here, more especially at more female races by Thrustmaster Rockets. Kamugli goes 7th, and Natalie Lee now coming through. And I've just heard that April Karlsvard in the number 69, down in 23rd, is 0.6 up on her personal best so far. Brilliant stuff here at Zolder.
Yeah, huge stuff just now. New to the series, of course, as well. But in 1 minute and 40 seconds left to go, your top 10 currently looks like this. In pole position, it's Rose from Gobi in second place. Svensson in third. It's Benchik in fourth. Fifth place is Dove. Sixth place is Lee, seventh place is Pope, eighth place is Kamugli, Altea Book in ninth, and at the moment Josie Austin down in 10th place. But again, we'll go through the full order as things start to settle and the dust starts to lay here at Zolder. 1 minute 10. This is it. This is going to be the huge final lap. Alu Gobi though, I'm hearing and I'm seeing on the timing screens, they're flashing like crazy because Gobi currently 0.3 of a second up on that previous lap there, which was 0.2 of a second, and Rory Rose improves even more to go 1:30.573. That was a tenth up on her previous time. But Alu, who was looking so promising in that final turn there, loses a bit of the momentum, but keeps on going. 30 seconds left, and that is going to be the final lap started for Alu Gobi. It's now or never. It all comes down to this, and Alex, they need to bring the absolute lap of their lives out to steal that pole position right now.
Yeah, just keep your eyes on Sarah Dove. She was half a second up. Well, on that particular occasion, and Sarah Dove has now gone up to P4 on a 1 minute 31.521. And April Karlsvard again has improved. Another 0.7 for the Swede from Realish Racing as she comes out of the final chicane, the Jackie X chicane here. Across the line, 18th position. So Karlsvard exactly the same time as Sarah Moore, as there's Althea Book. So she's now making her way through into Auster. There's Hedda Rangster trying to get through is there as well. So, but GTWR, you can now see the drivers are now just they're pushing like crazy as Althea Book goes through into Sacrament Shelling. GTWR have in this field, ladies and gentlemen, 6 teams.
Yeah, that's awesome stuff. But there we go. Checker flag drops here on qualifying then for the pros. This is it. This is the final lap that these teams are going to be doing. It's the pro and the silvers currently out on track just now. All eyes are going to be on Alu Gobi, who goes across the line, is 0.2 behind in Anori Rose. It's going to be Anori Rose on pole. There's nobody close that can get anywhere near them. This might even be an improvement. Goes across the line. Oh my goodness me! As if to rub salt into the wound. Insult to injury. 1:30.393. Althea Book comes across the line. She's improving. Could move up into 8th place. She does. What a great lap there from Althea Book. Verena May for turn 1. Stargirl Racing in the 1:04 comes across the line, currently down P21, improves up to P19. What a lap there from Enori Rose to grab it right at the death there. 1:30.393, Alex. That was an absurd lap right at the last gasp.
Just to throw a bit more salt into the wound, saying Audi Rose, Alu Gobi she'd been pushing like crazy all the way through that session, and to be having that opportunity maybe of being 0.3 up and then the last sector having a drama, that's a bit of a difficult bit of pill to swallow after a very, very rapid fire 10-minute qualifying session, but still to be within 0.4 of the current reigning pro champions. To be honest with you, that's not too shabby, but it's about what's going to happen in the 1 hour race that is going to be even more enticing in just a few minutes' time.
Yep, let's take you through the order then. Inori Rose on pole position alongside Alu Gobi on row 1. Row 2 is going to be the 977 of Tamea Benchik and Sarah Dove alongside in the 177. And then we have got Mia Svensson in 5th place there alongside Natalie Lee in the 102. That's turn 1. 3 alongside Natalie tonight is going to be Santera Rantala. Then it is Denise Pope. Cracking job for Denise. 7th place on the grid alongside Althea Book, the 79 and the 150 respectively. The 101 of Jenny Kamugli on 9th place on row 5 alongside Josie Austin for Team Cake. Then it's Lyubov Ozaretskovskaya in the number 46. The husband and wife duo are taking part in the season tonight. They are on row 6, starting in 11th place. 12th place is going to be Eris Felion in the 828 car. The number 7 of Sophie Erowin in 13th place, alongside 14th of Ava de Andrade on row 7. Row 8 is going to be Sarah Johnson and Celine Witcher, Sarah Moore and April Carlsvard in 17th and 18th place, and then 19th place is going to be Verena May. 20th place is Hedda Rangster. 21st is Sarah Fair. 22nd is Denise Joubert. Charlotte Robertson in 23rd, Nathan Pearce in 24th, Maren Edwards 25th place, Andy Lab in 26th, Beta Botjenska in 27th place, and Annalise Wright, in the number 13 is in 28th place. And at the back of the grid, keeping her company, is Scarlett Zanoni. At the back of the grid is a very relative term, though, because it is a fairly decent spread of pace that we've got. There are going to be some incredible battles all through the field tonight, Alex.
Yeah, very much the case. And also, the fact is that with these 4 classes, they are each individually going for their respective points this season here. And from my understanding is that if it is a win in your class, that's 25 points to your credit. And then it's 21st, 21 for second, 17 for third, 14th for fourth, 12th for fifth place, and then 10 points for sixth, 8 points for seventh, 6 points for eighth, and then it's 4 points for ninth, 3 points if you get to top 10. So if you're in 10th position, then it's 2 for 11th, and a point if you get into 12th. But the thing is, David, everyone, as long as they finish this race, has an opportunity of scoring points.
Yeah, that's a huge thing come the end of this six race championship. It is so huge indeed. Of course, we start the rounds, we start the season here off at Zolder. We move off on 10th of May to Monza. It's then to the bigger brother here in Belgium, Spa-Francorchamps, down on the 24th of May. Then on the 7th of June, it's Kyalami in South Africa, Brands Hatch over in the UK on June 21st. And then we have a bit of a wild card this year, and for season 3 is going to be a publicly voted track on a vote that will come out in the next couple of weeks or so. And basically that comes out, and that is going to end up being I'm talking absolute nonsense. They held the vote already, and it is, of course, it's Brands Hatch. Because I saw the vote on the timeline, but then I was reading through the notes of the series, and it was telling you about the public vote track. But of course, that's already happened. So yeah, pay attention, David.
Anyone got that virtual saucepan? Brands, yeah. Yeah.
Right. So it turns out I was actually right then. So I was reading it, and it said that it was Brands Hatch, but that's only because on the system, on the website, it has to you have to pick a track for it to show up as an event. So that's why. So it's there as a placeholder, but it is still to be voted on. Right. So I can relax actually. So I did actually have that right in the first place. Then
You did.
Do you see the surprise in my voice when I actually get something right, Alex? Exactly. The silence says it all. There we go. Right.
I'm not going to say any more on the subject. That's it.
If you have just joined us, you are just in time, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to round 1 of season 3 of More Female Racers here at Zolder in Belgium. It's David Christie and Alex Goldsmith taking you through the next hour of racing. 3 20-minute pit stops on the 3 20-minute stints on the go, and then we have got 2 mandatory pit stops and a maximum stint time of 23 minutes. Cars making their way through on the green flag lap. Right, I'm going to calm myself down because I was already super excited for the start of this new season, but I think I just need to bring it down a little notch here.
Yeah, well, you weren't as hyped as Mr. Michael Hamlet. He's been like at fever pitch up until this evening, isn't he? Bless him. He's
got the bunting out, he's got the little flags and everything, little pom-poms. He is ready to go for tonight, and who can blame him? Again, as somebody that's watching the sim racing community grow and grow for many, many years now. I love this. I love the idea behind this. I love the principles behind this, and being part of this, it's a massive privilege to be part of it. Very much looking forward to it. But I mean, it's going to be one hell of a race between Alu Gobi and Enore Rose. It's then going to be, I think, the best of everyone else for the field. But I mean, given the pace, this could be very, very tasty indeed tonight.
It very well could be, and it is about the first thing about rolling starts is that you have to get it spot on the nose. If you don't get it right, you bog down or you miss a shift or whatever, that can really throw you to the wolves, so to speak. But this circuit is something to be rather feared, and out of the circuits that we've actually got, this is on the 5 tracks that are already confirmed. It's the second. It's the second. Well, it's not the shortest. It's actually just under 0.06 of a mile longer than Brands Hatch on round 5. But it's tight. It's technical. It is also fast flowing. So it's not just about the start. It's also about keeping yourself out of trouble.
Certainly is, but the car's making their way down through towards the final corner and led off by Enore Rose. The car's making their way in 2x2. Remember, we've got 4 classes racing tonight in identical cars. We've got the pros, we've got the pro-ams, we've got the silvers, and we have the am championship as well. Reigning pro champions Enore Rose and Mia Rose heading up the field. They come round the final corner onto this very, very long straight here at Zolder. Very deceiving, because I am one for getting excited way too early and hyping it up, and then you realise you've got another 5 seconds for the green flag to drop. Reigning Pro-Am champions back tonight. Jenny Kamugli and Declan Bowler back in it as well as we get ready to go racing. Green flag drops. We are away underway, and it's side by side into turn 1 for Alu Gobi and Enore Rose there. Cracking shot as the cars all make their way through turn 1. Oh, we've got one car that doesn't make its way through. Sarah Johnson out and involved in that one, gets going as well, but Enore Rose gets her nose in front, and this could be critical. Alu Gobi has to get moving to catch back up, otherwise Enore Rose is going to be absolutely off into the distance and getting the whole shot.
Yeah, I just saw the 152. That's of Red Light Zach Racing, also getting involved in the melee, probably as an unwilling participant through Erster, but yeah, to already now start pulling away in this initial phase. I'm not at all surprised that the defending champions have already scarpered away into the distance, as Alu Gobi now trying to fend off. That looks to be Svensson behind in the number 3 car. That's Mia Svensson and Chris Hartveld, so a good pairing there. So yeah, there were 3, 4, maybe even 5 cars involved on that T1 incident. So already I did say about keeping your nose clean, and someone said, well, I've heard a bang, and then someone else sounded like a gunshot. Well, Denise Pope, she's now closing in on Sarah Dove for P5 and has got the number 102 just behind. So this is actually for the semi-pro class lead just after lap 1.
Yep, lap 1 in the books already then. Rose from Gobi, from Svensson, Benchik in 4th place, 5th place for Dove, Pope in 6th place, Lee in 7th, Book in 8th place, Austin in 9th, and Kamugli in 10th as well. Oh my goodness me, this is awesome. So clean as well, so fast and so clean, and everybody just tucking in for these first 5 minutes. And this is the most important part, of course, Alex, is the fact that, you know, you've got to survive for the next 59 minutes. You've got to get to the end of the race. That's what it's all about here. And I'm just noticing Andy Lab as well, up to 23rd place. So that's a reasonable start there. I think she started down in about 24th or 25th position, if I'm not mistaken. But with a second gap already, I'm really worried that Enore Rose is clocking out and off down the road, because, you know, Gobi on her own just now. But to be fair and to give credit, you know, Mia Svensson doing a good job of trying to hold that gap. But again, that one looks like it's eking out as well. But then from 3rd place onwards, it's just absolutely crazy.
Well, the more crazy thing is that Aonori Rose has powered away to the tune of just over 1.3 seconds over Alu Gobi in the number 21.
P9.
And also, there's an interesting battle for round about sort of P9. And that is currently occupied by Josie Austin in the 137. Now, they are the...
Oh, we've got yellow flags.
That's Scarlett Zanoni that's been caught up in that one, but it looks like everyone else just avoiding it. Another yellow flag comes out, and that sounds suspiciously like, in fact, is that the 316 has been caught up in that as well. I think that might be Andy Lab that gets going. It was Andy, actually, and that drops Andy all the way back down to about P27. So disaster after that decent start there for Andy Lab, and all the way down there. And the 12 really, really struggling there of Scarlett Zanoni. We'll get a replay very, very soon of that one, but that car looking pretty stationary. It gets going again, but I think there might be some severe damage to that car.
Yeah, I noticed that also Denise Joubert in the number 8 car also involved. That's the Pro-Am entry of TGN Ladies Racing with... yeah, it's just really, it just goes to show again how difficult this can be, as now Jenny Camugli's closing in on Josie Austin. Now Camugli currently third in what is going to be the semi-pro class, whereas Josie Austin is leading. And what's more, Team Cake Angel Cake is currently up into the top 10, and they're in the AM class, as we look like that there's some time being added on to Sarah Fair's car, the number 18, which is the Team Cake Cupcakes car, and she's partnered with Sebastian Handler. But also, Aonori Rose is just putting the hammer down, David. 1 minute 30.975. Gap now between her and Alu Gobi is over 1.7 seconds.
Yeah, scary, scary stuff indeed. The pace that Inori and Mia have is just on another level. Alu Gobi doing very best to hold on, but I've got a feeling that it might not be enough. I've not really seen much of Josie Austin's livery on the run-up to this, and I've got to be honest, I absolutely love it. And I love the fact that, of course, Angel Cake, that's exactly what it is, the yellow and the pink there. That is, yeah, it's the little things, isn't it, you know? But did a cracking job. I mean, she was under pressure from Jenny Camugli in that 101 machine, the Turn 1 Meets Biscuit outfit. But, I mean, she seems to have, adjusted, as I was about to say that, it catches right back up. But that was a healthy gap that she had there. It was about a second over Jenny Camugli, but it seems to be just in a couple of corners time. Right, here is the start. This is towards the back of the field. This is where all hell started to break up, and oh, that is unfortunate to see. And I've got to say, a little bit of karma for that blue car that you can see off into the sand there. Oh, and the 12's off again. Yellow flag out as we see the 101 making its way around, still hold on to Josie Austin. But again, Camugli's dropped off the back and having to fight with Ironwin and Moore right now. In fact, look at that. That's Altea Book that's up into the mix now.
Yeah, I've also noticed that Charlotte Robertson in the number 11 car, that was High Tide Racing, actually was in the pits for quite a spell. As we now go to another replay. So this is the number 100. And that's the Turn 1 Canada car. You can now see... bit of outbraking there, unfortunately. And, yeah, tagged the car in front. And, that's not... That just goes to show how one incident can cause a domino effect. And, yeah, rejoins happening. Cars trying to regain themselves onto the tarmac and spooling up the rear tyres on the grass. And the back end just steps around 180. It's part and parcel of racing.
Certainly is, man. That was straight up cold-blooded murder, as Pascal Mitt has pointed out in the YouTube chat there. That was completely unintentional. I've got absolutely no doubt whatsoever. Very easy to lock up the brakes on the entry to that corner. I've done it many times myself here. I'm not a big fan of racing at Zolder, but I love watching it here. I think that was actually on the run-up to Boulderberg. But yeah, it is what it is, and the cars just have to keep going. That's the whole rub of the green with these sort of races just now. But it is still Honore Rose out in the lead with 8 minutes into the big 5 laps in. Alou Gobi 3 seconds. Still 3 seconds ahead of Svensson in that third place. So it's Honore Rose from Alou Gobi first and second, Svensson in third place, and then in fourth place you've got the outfit of Tamea Benchik in the 977, Sarah Dove in fifth place, Denise Pope in sixth, Natalie Lee in seventh, Josie Austin in 8th, Jenny Camugli in 9th, and Altea Book in 10th place. We'll run you through some of the non-top 10 in just a second, but important to remind you that it is all of the female drivers, or for some of these teams, the first of 2 female drivers that are in this first stint. These are the drivers that will be doing the start and the end of the race. And with another 11 minutes to go, I think strategy is going to get very, very frantic here, Alex.
Yeah, very much the case. I mean, April Karlsvard from Sweden, new to the championship this year. She's actually giving the 888 of Sarah Johnson, GTWR Female Racing number 4 Lamborghini, something to think about. And this is the battle for 17th. Now, we saw Karlsvard actually improve her qualifying pace rather significantly in the session, but now look how little bit of a touch from behind. Well, they do say rubbing's racing, but racing is normally a non-contact sport. You have to try and that was a little bit of tap from behind, but the thing is that there was no harm, no foul, so both Johnson and Karlsvard didn't really come a cropper because of either of it. But April Karlsvard will have a slightly damaged front bumper. You can see by the amount of scuff marks towards the front splitter that there are, but there goes Karlsvard sending it up the inside of Boulderberg Bocht on Sarah Johnson. That was a great move from the Realish Racing 69 there.
Yeah, as you pointed out, Alex, that move started 3-4 corners behind the run that Karlsvard had on Riot there. Brilliant on Johnson there. Brilliant stuff. But Altea Book, we're watching here. Oh, a bit of contact further up. That is, of course, Josie Austin trying to fight off Jenny Camugli. Keeps the place, keeps it going, but it's going to be severely compromised with the amount of curbing that she had to take on the exit of that corner there. Camugli around the outside. Oh, this is huge stuff right now, because you can see in the background there, Altea Book as well. Oh, they're so close to touching each other. Incredible respect from these two drivers right now. Josie Austin holds on to that place from Jenny Camugli. There was a tiny little bit of contact, but there would have had to be, because the two cars were in physically the same location. They had to get past each other. But look at Book and Ironman in the background there. They are side by side, absolutely giving everything they can right now. Both of them obviously in that GTWR female racing team, and not wanting to give anything up. Right, let's have a look here. This is the 103 Turn 1 Norway of Hedda Rangseter up the inside there. Well, that's a difficult one, because there's a bold strategy to just completely straight line the corner and then get tagged. The car on the inside is not going to know anything about that until it's too late. That's one of the things that can be rather difficult at that particular part on the circuit, because it's not easy. You can outbrake yourself rather easily here at Zolder, but I wonder, there's definitely no team orders in GTWR, because Altea Book has now gotten away, and she's closing on Jenny Camugli and Josie Austin at this particular moment in time, and that is the battle for 8th position. But I have to give Josie Austin credit where credit is due, as that was an outbreak and a half there through into, that is the Kleine Chicane for Jenny Camugli. There goes Altea Book through the Sacrament Schelling. She's going to get through if she can. A little bit of a touch between the two Lamborghinis, but Camugli gets back in front at the moment through into the Villeneuve Chicane. That was very, very close indeed. So good defensive shown by Josie Austin and Jenny Camugli as well. Yeah, certainly. It's 47 minutes left to go in the race, 7 3/4 minutes left to go in this first stint for the drivers. Remember, maximum stint driving time of 23 minutes. We'll come back to that in a second. And Aronwin gets absolutely left, having to go around the outside. That now puts under pressure from Moore behind Sarah Moore in the 26. And that also means that Jenny Camugli has absolutely dropped Altea Book and Aronwin what a move that was, and it's just so unlucky for the GTWR cars that didn't work out, and now Jenny can focus on hunting down Josie Austin.
Yeah, and now Ronwin coming under pressure from Sarah Moore a little bit. That was going through Erster, now into Zandvoort. We now head over to Mia Bensick, and she's got Mia Svensson all the way, well, swerving all the way to left and right behind her, as they've now gone through the Kleine Chicane, now through into Sacrament Schelling, through into Buta, before the right-left here at the Villeneuve chicane. And you can just see Sarah Dove is rather close to the back end. Oh, back end of Svensson, but Svensson nearly lost it coming through the chicane there. Caught a big dose of opposite lock and managed to keep that tail rather steady, as opposed to it having snap oversteer to the left and probably spinning the car out. And that could have been drama for both Mia Svensson and Chris Hartveld right there for the number 3 car.
Yeah, certainly could, but I mean, fortunately managed to hold on to that, and not only that, really not losing all that much time out of it as well, because look at Dove just in the background there, waiting very, very patiently. And again, this is what I like from these GTWR racing team drivers. It seems to be a concerted effort from all of their drivers to help push, everyone along together. This is Verena May for Turn 1 Stargirl racing in the 104, currently trying to hold on to that position from 14th place, which is of course the number 46 of Lyubov Ozaretskovskaya. The husband and wife team, I mean, I've got to be honest, I'd love if I'll come at that in a minute. We've got a car off in the background there, and I'm trying to get an ID on who that was. It looked like just very lightly brushed into the wall there. And that was Joubert in the number 8. Yeah, that's a bad day going from bad to worse for Denise Joubert. So 45 minutes left to go. We're having a look now. That is Timea Benchik, who was in 3rd place. It's now Mia Svensson that's into 3rd place. What has happened then to Benchik?
No, Svensson's behind Pope. Svensson's had a moment through the chicane a little bit earlier on, so that would have been through the Kleine Chicane. So Mia Svensson's lost a hell of a lot of time there, as Altea Bucher now has Sophie Edelman behind her, and they're still battling with Kamugli, and Buch trying to send it up the inside. Now this is going to get rather close. Buch actually powers past Kamugli, and then Edelman tries to get through, and they both make it through, going from Terlam and down to Boulderberg. So great teamwork there. But Altea Buch off the track, going through the Jochen Rindt chicane. It's all changing. This is more like musical chairs in the minute, as someone's got the hazards on and has had a major moment. That is going towards the pit lane, as now some drivers starting to come in. Now that's Althea Buch. She's decided to pull into the pits. So probably a different strategy call. She'll hand over to Giorgio Simonini. But Timea Bensick from AAA Esports Times Imperium now currently running at the top 3 and was about 2 seconds ahead of Sarah Dove.
Wow, it's all kicking off now in this last sort of minute and a half here in the first stint here. We're going to see drivers over the next 5 minutes start to come in and do their driver changes. Just now, that was who I was talking about earlier on, Lyubov Ozaretskovskaya in the hunt for 12th place, just behind Verena May. Verena doesn't get that great of an exit out the corner, and the pace on that number 46 car is absolutely insane. This is the GTWR racing team. Oh, that's a move up the inside. I had my heart in my mouth there. I thought there was going to be contact, but it ends up that's what happened to Mia Svensson. And I wonder if she kind of got freaked out looking behind her in the mirrors. Oh, love a contact there. Oh, and there we go. The 46 hits the 104. Verena May turned round sidewards from Lyubov Ozaretskovskaya. And having to keep going. Oh my goodness me, cars everywhere, left, right and centre. The 11's involved as well. That is of course Charlotte Robertson a lap down. Alex, this is starting to get a little bit dicey now.
Yeah, it's you hate to see these kind of things happen, but it's always part and parcel of it. I did say that it was going to be tight, it was going to be technical, and the first thing you need to do is keep your nose clean. And if you don't, you can actually not only... It's not it's not just a solo driver effort. It's a team effort, and it's about working together. And there are also times when people might just get patience is something we've regularly discussed here on the Sim Grid, you and I, David, where sometimes patience isn't always a virtue, but it is something that can stand you in good stead if you're working on a strategy. Now, the first thing that I'll be interested to see is what happens with Giorgio Simonini, because now he's taken over from Altea Buch in the 150 car, and he's down in P20. What is going to happen now? Because you see this up ahead, this battle here, Svensson, and you've got Pope just up ahead, and that's one of the that's the Turn 1 Norway car. They're the 103. So Pope's actually. So we are now starting to. So May in the 104 has actually gone into the pits. Sarah Johnson's gone into the pits. Andy the Lab has gone in. Denise Pope stays out. And we're now going to go to. So you're now going to see here. Now this is the number 11, and that's with Robertson. And just literally. So that was the reason why Godskaya got turned around. And then the Turn 1 Norway car was a bit of an unwilling participant, so it was a domino effect yet again.
I'm scared, Alex, that race control are going to be absolutely fizzing at that one. And that was a lap down, that car. Taking out, that's not going to go down. That's going to go down like the proverbial bucket of cold sick between that driver and race control. But back to the race with 40 minutes left to go. Driver changes well and truly underway right now. I mean, this is just all over the place just now in terms of all the battles we've got. Denise Pope for the NSNX Wild Things Racing in the 79, currently being hunted down by Mia Svensson. And you've got to say, Mia, with the pace that she's got, should make short work of this. But again, it's one thing catching, it's another to get past. Here is a rundown of your current championship your current championship leaders right now. It's Inori Rose in the lead for the Pro class. In the Pro-Am class, it's going to be, I believe that is going to be number 18 of Sam Handler, who's just taken over from Sarah Fair. The silver class is Denise Pope in the 79, and then in the AMs, it's going to be Josie Austin in the 137 Team Cake Angel Cake. I know we're not allowed to have favourites, but we can have favourite liveries, I think, and that one definitely is one of my favourites.
Well, the Team Cake crew, when we did the 12 hours Next Gen Brain Tumour charity race at Silverstone, the GT4 effort they did on that Aston Martin, multi-layered for Team Cake, with Josie and Sebastian being part of that crew. You and I did the whole thing, didn't we? We did the whole broadcast. There's always some great liveries here on the Sim Grid, and here at More Female Racers by Thrustmaster Rockets is just as exemplary, and it's really good because the livery always provides individuality. As I've just seen a 5-second penalty go against now Karlsvard is just being hit with a 10-second penalty. I would imagine that's probably going to be for an incident. And one of the things that this series is meant to promote is to promote not just more inclusivity in motorsport, but also to help newer drivers to come into this as well. And Giorgio Simonini took over from Altea Buch in 20th position after the first pit stop. Now he's up to P13, so the penalty's now coming through. So the number 69 of Karlsvard gets a... Well, that's now going to be Karlsvard's teammate that's going to get that next time, which will be number 69. Sorry, that's Kieran Parkin. That's for avoidable contact on lap number 2, and that was involving the 888 of Sarah Johnson.
Yeah, the GTWR female racing number 4 outfit were hampered by that contact, and I get the feeling we're going to have to get used to seeing quite a few of these just now, because there's been quite a few incidents early on. But again, this is to be expected with such a wide range of talent and skill levels on this championship. This is a point I was making earlier, Alex. The wonderful thing about this is that you look at that track map on the right-hand side of your screen, and everyone almost certainly has somebody to chase down or to fight with. There's not really many cars that are currently out all by themselves.
Yeah, very true. And also, it means that you can run your own race. As now, Adam Pincer's now closing on the 177. That's Olaf Salchuk behind the wheel. Olaf partnered with Sarah Dove. They're battling away for what will effectively be second position because, Denise Pope was showing in the pits, and so she'll be handing over to Rob Taplin. Jenny Kamugli over to Declan Bowler. So, you can just see that Pincers will be getting a wriggle on. Simonini now up to 12th place, 12 seconds behind Aurélien Cour, who's partnered with Sarah Moore in the number 26 Moore Freaky Racing semi-pro entry. And we're, like you say, by the amount of different skill sets that we've got on this, to have 4 different classes, it was a bit like the Fantastic Four that Chaz Draycott and Andy McEwen commentated over at Spa-Francorchamps a few weeks ago. It's very much the same principle, but you've got a single spec car, so thereby everyone's in the same machinery. There's no... The closing speeds won't be as significant as... Oh, now that was definitely a late break and a half there from the 977 from Pincers. Very, very close to the back bumper of Salchuk on that particular occasion.
Goodness me, my heart was in my mouth at that moment. What a moment for Mike Yao to jump to that bumper cam as we almost took off the rear wing of Soychuk in that 177 car. Great job here. And again, we're going to see the balance kind of shift a little bit here as we get the second drivers in. These drivers only doing one stint, so I would think that they're maybe eager to make more of an impression than perhaps say the drivers doing the first stint and the third stint, because they've only got that one chance, whereas the drivers in that first stint, the ladies will get another chance in the final stint here. This is Stavros Konstantidis currently hunting down the number 26 is hunting him down, something rotten. But Rantala, in a cracking job there, is just taking the position from Rob Taplin. And we didn't quite see that, but we see the effects of it nonetheless. So Taplin goes down. We have a new leader for that class in the 102. Rantala taking the position like candy off a baby. And Santeri is going to be very, very happy. But I tell you who else is going to be happy. Natalie Lee, his teammate, is going to be absolutely delighted with that one for sure. So 34 minutes left to go. And this race is starting to fly by now.
Yeah, it is. I mean, Rantala used plenty of Finnish Sisu to get that move done on Taplin, I can assure you of that much. But then also you've got to sort of keep an eye on, they've got a back marker just up ahead. So now Rantala is going to be compromised ever so slightly. You've got to deal with the dirty, turbulent air in front of you. And that can make all the difference, because if you're stuck behind a vehicle for too long, especially if they ignore blue flags, then your race is the one that starts to unfold to the point where it's like, I didn't really want this to happen, but I've got to deal with it. As now Salchuk being closed in on by Pincers, and this is going through into the Lucien Bianchi box. And now the run down to the Kleine Schikane. So the number 977 will be trying to close in. And you can just see how late on the brakes the 977 is, and goes full-on Night Rider style through the second part of the Kleine Schikane and still keeps the throttle planted in. Wow.
That's what you call dedication, my friends. Absolute dedication. Pincers really doing everything he possibly can right now to catch on to the back of Olaf Soychuk in that 177 machine. But the 177 did a cracking job for GTWR Female Racing number 2 just now. Just to give you a little update, ladies and gentlemen, you see on the left hand side of your screen, you can see 4 different colours for the drivers. The whites are the pro class, the grey is the silver class, the black is Pro Am, and the red is AM, your amateur class. This is a replay then. It's Rob Taplin. This is how he lost the lead in that class. It just goes wide. I mean, there's nothing any more dramatic to say than he's overcooked it into the corner and loses the position.
Yeah, but now we go back to the battle for third overall, and this is going through into Sterrenwacht and then into Kanalbocht, and you can just see that Adam Pincers is still closing. He's right up close and personal, within half a car length, going through the Lucien Bianchi bocht, and again running towards the Kleine Schikane, and you can see that Pincers goes one way, does the old Nigel Mansell dummy, trying to get into the Kleine Schikane first, but on that particular occasion doesn't do so, but a little bit of a run wide coming out of the Kleine Schikane allows Salchuk to position the car through the Sacrament shelling and into Butter rather easily, and keeps his racing line priority through the Villeneuve chicane. But Adam Pincers is only piling the pressure on. It's not going to be a case of if, it's going to be a case of when the 977 gets past.
Yeah, it certainly is. Brilliant battle we've got going on. We're seeing Pinches and Soychuk getting a little bit of an elbow out there on Pinches, but again they think better of it. Pinches does a wild move to the left hand side, tries to get the traction out of the corner, doesn't work, and he almost sends himself in that Huracan ST into oblivion, but manages to keep it onto the black stuff here and gets going again on the run for that third place there. Another penalty came in involving the 997 and 103. That was the hot and spicy car of Rita Bochenska, and that was on the 103 of Turn 1 Norway's Hede Rangseter. That was an unsafe rejoin. That's a drive-through penalty for car number 997. And the 112, that's Turn 1 Canada's Celine Witcher. That was on the earlier incident against the number 12. That was where we saw it. I'm just trying to remember. That was onto Boulderberg Bocht, were sent to the absolute moon, just forgot to brake, locked up and straight into the back of that car. So that is what that penalty is for, drive through to the number 100. So all in all, half an hour in, and we've only got 3 penalties on the go.
I was hoping you weren't going to say
I'm touching the desk. It's fine. It's absolutely, and the windowsill and maybe everything else. But joking aside, I mean, obviously, as we've spoken about at length about the different skill levels, it's actually going really, really well, as it did in Season 2 and as it did in Season 1. It doesn't matter if they're not the fastest, they still know how to conduct themselves for the most part on track, and it's what we love seeing.
Yeah, great on board here. This is on the left, the back of the left front wing on Adam Pinches, as he's now closing in again on Olaf Salchuk. But one of the interesting things I've now just seen is, Sebastian Handler in the number 18 is showing in the pits. Now that's a little bit earlier than anticipated, as Ridian Lloyd-Davies goes past one of the GTWR cars, and there gets a little tap from behind. That is going through Boulderberg Bocht, and there is another GTWR car. That is Giorgio Simonini. So Simonini is one place away from getting into the top 10.
That was a rather large helping, a punch to pass, and Ridian Lloyd-Davies there for Team Cake. Angel Cake has a bit of a lock-up on the brakes, a little bit of wash onto the outside, picks up all those nasty marbleized rubbery bits on the outside off the racing line. And that is a bit of a turn-up for the books for the 137, taking over the reins from Josie Austin. I'm not impressed with that, I've got to be honest. That was a rather clear case of push to pass on Lloyd-Davies. From that angle, again, we'll maybe get a replay of that, and then the other GTWR car of Giorgio Simonini able to take advantage of that. But again, we can see Chapman's fighting side by side, and Lloyd-Davies actually just ducks out of it, thinks discretion, the better part of valour there, and maybe thinks more of the long-term race strategy here.
Yeah, it could be the case, because one of the other things is that if they are... Now, I've just seen that Sarah Fair's got behind the wheel again of the Cupcakes car, down in what is third in class. And that will be the Pro-Am class, currently third in class, but 20th overall. As Adam Pinces still trying to get his way past Olaf Salchuk in the 177 GTWR Female Racing Car 2. Still battling away for third position as they go through into the Kleine Chicane. Yeah, I mean, Pinces, I think he's just trying to keep in touch. He doesn't necessarily... I think he's going to try and see if he can hand that car over. Going to go to a replay now. Now, this is what we saw a little bit earlier. So there's the 137. So it was the number 7 that ran wide, and that was Stephen Chapman, and who then ends up giving the little bit of the punt to pass there. And Giorgio Simonini was already up the inside of Chapman before the bump had actually happened.
Yeah, great move from Simonini, not taking anything away from that whatsoever. Yeah, well, we'll see what race control make of that. It didn't look like intentional or anything like that. It's very easy to outdo yourself when you're looking left and right, especially from my experience when I'm racing in VR in this. Your eyes are on beanstalks, looking left and right and trying to keep up with this. But we go to another replay then. This is on the exit of the entrance to the chicane. A little bit of lock up the brakes. The car goes wide, squiggles off, and has to then force to defend that position from the GTWR car there. Very easy to do, and once you've gone onto that outside line, off the racing line, picked up those marbles, that car is not right for a good 3 to 4 corners next.
Yeah, I mean, because the thing is that with these rubber marbles on the side of the track here, David, you get pickup. Well, first of all, that's going to add weight to the car. Second of all, the tyres might not be, the full contact patch won't be fully contacting with the tarmac underneath you. So that's another thing that you have to take into account of. How far degraded are the tyres actually in that particular part of the stint, or has it gone through the first and the second stint? Nathan Pearce goes for a spin. Oh dear, that was going through the exit of the Jackie X chicane there, and holds on the brakes, has to wait for the rejoin, and does the very smart thing, keeps the car to the right hand side, but held the brakes. So I have to give Pearce credit where credit is due. Simonini now is closing in to the 101. The turn 1 meets Biscuit car. That's got Konstantinidis behind the wheel of that. Well, that did have, because now Simonini's passed and up into P9, but we've got just under 25 minutes of this opening round of more female races by Thrustmaster Rockets still going on here at Zolder. But Mia Rose, I mean, the defending champion, starting off on exactly the perfect way to do so. Mia Rose currently the best part of 13 seconds up the road to Jens Kaiser and up from Jens Kaiser and Alu Gobi in the Map 1 21 Lamborghini.
And there's two different viewpoints on Mia Rose and Ori Rose. The pace that they've got as Trevor Jackson makes a move up the inside of Lloyd Davis in that 137. That car's really, really struggling. But to Mia Rose and to Ori Rose, some people might find it frustrating that they're able to just launch off into the distance, and I would actually argue the opposite. I think as a driver of either gender, when you've got a car that is that far in front, it's a benchmark. It's like this is where you need to be. This is where the pace can be. This is what I can find possible, or we can find possible in the car. So there's no reason for that you can't find it as well. Oh, and that was Lloyd Davis going Tokyo drift round the corner there. That was a proper drift that he had on. Kept hold of it, but Lloyd Davis really struggling in that car now. I wonder if those tyres have gone already, and which is very strange given that it's only been 17 minutes.
I mean, to be completely honest with you, Mia and Aaronori, they've been running in the 131s convincingly throughout both of their respective stints. I mean, Mia Rose has just put in a 131.5. The only other driver that is, well, there's a couple of drivers that are currently in the 131s. Chris Hartvelt in 5th and number 3. He's just put in on the previous lap a 131.5. Simonini's running in the 31.8s. Everyone out, Daniel Austin's in the 316 car. And that's the Strix Racing car. He's partnered with Andy the Lab. He's been running in the 131.9s. And everyone else is running anywhere between, I've seen as low as 132.1 all the way up to 1 1:35. So yeah, and I've just seen that there is a drive-through across the 103, which I think you might have mentioned earlier on, possibly a drive-through for avoidable contact for the 103 car, and that was on lap number 6. But you can just see we're getting into the last 22 minutes, and now it's time to sort of shuffle the deck a little bit. Now, you mentioned about 23 minutes being the maximum stint time, am I right?
Yep, that's absolutely spot on that one.
Well, the thing is that there is only one team out of the top 23. That is the car that has got Sarah Fair behind the wheel. That's the Team Cupcakes car. That's currently in 20th position, as now Chapman pits from P13. The number 24, Lucas Montresor, will hand back over to Eva de Andrade. They're rounding out, the top 17 positions overall. So my question is, Sarah Fair actually got into that car about 10 or so minutes ago.
Yeah, that's absolutely spot on. So that means that there's going to have to be another pit stop there, as we see more drama there for Eris Aphelion in the 828 and the yellow flag there. Or they could just opt to take the drive-through penalty instead for that one.
Yeah, so they'll have to drive through the pit lane then, just manually do it without, and then reset the stint time. But Salomon now closing in on, that's parking just up ahead in the number 69. Oh, a little bit of a touch there, going through into Boulderberg Bocht, and that was a little bit of a bump to pass there, I fear. Whether race control is going to have a look at that. Simonini's now going to hand over to Altea Buch for her final stint, as Salomon absolutely launches it into the pit lane and straight away goes hammers on the brakes and manages to probably get, I hope they don't get a stop go 30 as a result of that. But it can be, if it's the person going in or coming out of the pits, it can happen. As Pincer's now in, that's Salchuk. So effectively, Mia Rose is now going to hand over to Anori Rose for the final stint. So effectively, Salchuk and Pincer's, how long are they going to stay out for before they end up going into the pits and then handing over to their respective drivers? I'm just having a look now. Salchuk and Pincer's have now been in the car for 19 minutes, just gone. So they'll have another 3 to go. So probably in the next lap, I would say, probably at the end of this lap or maybe the lap afterwards, as now Aonori Rose gets back behind the wheel of the 956 Jean Alesi Esports Academy Lamborghini. Another penalty coming through from race control. Car number 997 has just been given a drive-through penalty. And that is the hot and spicy pairing of Bita Bochenska and Errol Verwey, and that was for an unsafe rejoin. Lap number 7.
Yeah, that was on Denise Joubert. That's their second drive-through in the space of 4 laps, and given that we're currently about 18 laps behind real time in race control, that's how far along they are. Yeah, I think there's quite a few spicy incidents that are going to be looked at in the near couple of laps. Here is Leonore Rose for Jean Lacey Esports Academy taking back the reins of that car for the final 20 minutes of the race, trying to go round the outside there. And again, the confidence that she has in that car is just absolutely incredible. The precision and the sheer determination to put that car where it needs to be and just keep that foot in, keep the pace going. Absolutely incredible stuff.
It is, and obviously, with it being, who they're racing for as well, the team that they're racing for, John Lacey Esports Academy. I mean, that name, the two first and second name at the front of that needs no introduction. As Konstantinidis trying to go toe to toe with the 18. That's Sarah Fair. That's not for position. But yeah, the thing is that they'll as soon as any calendar comes out, you know that a team of that calibre will start going through, as all the number 46 has had a bit of a moment. Ozaretskovsky has just been given a stop-go 30. That'll be for speeding in the pit lane. So that's really made their race go a bit bad to us, especially after the incident that was they were an unwilling participant in through no fault of their own. So now this is crunch time. Who's going to get the jump on everybody else? Because Aurélien Cour now has handed over to Sarah Moore, and that car is currently a little bit further down. But look at who's stayed out. Konstantinidis and Taplin. They've both stayed out, and if I'm completely honest here, David, I'm just going to have a look at their times, their stint times. So Taplin has been in the car for just over 20 minutes, and then Konstantinidis, who's running in the 101. Now that is currently second in that class, would you believe it? Semi-pro. And yeah, Konstantinidis has been in for about 20 seconds less than Taplin. So these drivers are really they're pushing the limits of this stint, because Denise Pope and Jenny Camugli respectively both were in the car for nearly 22 minutes. So they're trying to push the boat out. So what this means is that Konstantinidis and Taplin are giving Pope and Camugli the perfect opportunity to go for the class victory, but who knows, could it even be a top 3?
It's certainly within the realms of possibility on that one, Alex, because with 15 minutes left to go, this is what I love, is that strategy is now a thing here in More Female Racers by Thrustmaster Rockets, with the introduction of these 3 20-minute stints. It's all up in the air now about how and when you do these pit stops. You've got a time where you have to be out of the car by, but until then, everything is up for discussion. Another penalty coming in then between the 103 and the 100. It's a drive-through penalty for the number 103, and again that's the second drive-through penalty for the 103 in like 2 laps. That is, of course, turn 1 Norway's Heda Rangseter that was in the car, but it's going to be Truls Solberg who possibly will take the hit for that, although they've just made the pit stop. So it is actually Heda that is back in the car as well. Second drive-through penalty in very quick succession for that turn 1 Norway car. But back up at the front, Rob Taplin was your race leader. Oh, that's the 177 off. That's Sarah Dove. And that is a huge accident there. Sarah gets the car back going again, but very, very slowly. Oh my goodness me, that is not what you want to be happening on that corner there, especially as the 177 was running in 5th place. And oh my goodness me, look at Tamea Benting contact on the start-finish straight. Cars going everywhere. Oh, what on earth happened there? Surely there was absolutely no need for that whatsoever. The cars should have been able to have space on the track. You've got cars facing the wrong way. Oh my goodness me. Sarah Dove off again. Oh, Alex, what on earth just happened there?
I'm speechless. This is not the time for this to be happening. And that was another car that had gone off the circuit as well. I've just even seen Sam Pearce, and that's the number 8 again. That is Denise Joubert. Words escape me right now, but then you've got other drivers that have got a real shout. Denise Pope is in 5th position. Now, obviously, with that incident with Bensick going across the start-finish line, I'm going to keep an eye on Tamea Bensick's times there, because if Denise Pope starts pulling in really good lap times, because both her and Rob Taplin, that strategy for the number 79 NSN racing car has been done to a pretty good standard. Josie Austin still running in the lead of the AM class in 14th, obviously started P9 after qualification. Sarah Moore, she's now currently 4th in the semi-pro class. This race, behind Ayanori and Mia Rose and Alu Gobi and Jens Kaiser, has completely been turned upside down and shaken by its feet.
Yeah, it certainly has.
That's how I can put it.
That's absolutely spot on, Alex. I couldn't have chosen any better words to have described it myself. I think the bit that gets me is the fact that in those pit stops, Mia Rose and Eleonora Rose gained 6 seconds over Lou Gobi in second place. That gap is now 19.7 seconds, nearly 20 seconds on a 60-minute race. Incredible stuff. Right, I've got a feeling this is going to be the accident down into the start-finish straight. Oh, it's not. So that is a little bit of just desserts there. We need to get an idea on who that car was, but that was a bit naughty. A bit of a hip check. Off you go into pit lane. Oh no. Oh,
right,
that
is where it happens. That's, Sarah Dove goes to the left. Now, obviously, that was the 103 Turn 1 Norway car, where there was a little bit of touch between them. But Hedda Rangets was going straight into the pit lane. But then, Sarah, the 177 really had nowhere to go. Tried to avoid to the left, and then bang, all of a sudden, it's all over and done with. And that's a real shame. Timea Bensick is still in the pits. That car got significant damage. So now Denise Pope sees herself in 4th position, and by my reckoning, NSN now have a semi-pro class lead with 11 minutes to go.
Yeah, watching this is down the start-finish straight then. I get the feeling that this is going to be a case of what's unseen, and oh my goodness me, can you imagine being in the cockpit of that blue car there, that second one, to hit it absolutely unsighted. It's Josie Austin side by side there. What a move, and this is a cracking little battle going on right now. Josie Austin taking that position and making it look very, very easy indeed for Team Cake, Angel Cake, and yeah, that is a decent drive. I've got to be honest, I think Josie will be fairly happy taking that 12th place from Sarah Fair, but also in the lead of her class right now.
Yeah, to be honest with you, as I said earlier, they qualified P9, and it was Josie behind the wheel, so she put in a really, really solid performance in the first half of qualifying as we're into the last 10 minutes. I think at the end of the day, if Sarah went, well, Josie's got a bit more pace than me, she'll probably notice the split times and everything, and then decide, well, let's just let her go. So this is the number 8. This is Denise Joubert, and there's Sarah Dove just behind, and then you've got... So we're just going to go through. Now this is coming down the back part of the circuit from Terlamen down into Boulderberg. Okay, so you can just see Benzik hits Joubert from behind, and then tangles coming through Boulderberg. Oh, and then, okay, we're going to keep watching here. So there is Joubert, there is Benzik. They're going to go through the final chicane, so through the Jackie X corner. So Joubert keeps a tight apex. Benzik gets the run. Now they both start to power on the throttle. Okay, Joubert drifts to the right-hand side. Benzik's got nothing, literally touches the left corner. It sends Joubert into the right-hand wall. Benzik ends up into the left, having collected her, and along comes Sarah. There you go. That's exactly how the Constantina effect. And now this is where the dominoes really start falling. The GTWR car goes past. Okay, so now Joubert pulls in, has not hit the brakes, and all of a sudden, bang.
Yeah.
That's all I need to know about that one. Okay, now just keep going. Oh, Joubert retaliates.
I've got to be honest, I would not be surprised to see if that car gets DQ'd. I mean, the fact that is several absolutely... events that race control would be absolutely tearing your ears off for. Jenny Camugli in the 101 having a bit of a moment in the turn 1 meets Biscuit Racing car, keeps it going. I've got to be honest, that 8 car, that's like 6-7 different incidents there. And obviously we've made the point several times tonight about that there's varying skill levels on display, but the thing is that there is a lengthy pre-race drivers briefing that goes on and drivers are explained to in explicit detail about what to do and what not to do in the event of an accident. And I mean, I just don't know what to say, Alex. I'm honestly lost for words.
I'm going to basically put this out here. I think realistically, Denise Joubert should have stayed stationary. Because if you don't hold, that was a massive impact. Okay, she's angry, she's frustrated, the red mist is definitely there. But in those kind of situations, if you don't hold on to the brakes, you're effectively doing an unsafe rejoin. And it's about knowing and learning from these situations. Okay, yeah, Joubert's probably going to have a lot thrown at her. But it's the case of how she comes back and learns from it. And every driver will have ups and downs, peaks and troughs. And the thing is that the point of this series is how drivers that are new to motorsport, new to sim racing, can learn, can be educated, and actually learn as they go, and start enjoying the racing. Yeah, there's going to be frustration. I mean, if that was me, I'd be in exactly the same boat. I'd be absolutely annoyed as hell. But you have to keep a calm head in racing. And Bochenska's just got a drive-through penalty. I've also seen one come through for the 152, and that was for Benzik. It wasn't for Benzik. It was the 152 that was showing, and that 152 is Red Line Zach Racing, and that was for avoidable contact with the number 24 of Mia Esports. Then you've also got another one, and that's a drive-through for the car number 11, and that is for High Tide Racing. So yeah, it's. I think I've explained all I need to explain on these points, David.
Yeah, and that's the point, is the fact that it'll be dealt with by race control. And again, some of the comments in YouTube chat mentioning ban hammers need to get brought out. Absolutely not. The opposite needs to come out. The whole point of this series is to allow education and to allow this safe learning space for these drivers that we're trying to encourage to get into sim racing. It would kind of be anti-productive to then ban them after the first race. It's as I said, race control will deal with it. It'll be a heavy punishment. And it'll be a case of, learn your lesson. And Alex, as you said, we'd be absolute hypocrites to say that we've never been in that position and never, hit somebody in rage. But with this being a team event, you can't do that. And that's something I had to learn the hard way as well. You have to drive to the capability of yourself and drive to the capability of the car as well. And think, I've got to get this home in one piece. So yeah, that's what will be done.
Yeah,
oh my goodness me, up the inside.
Book has just been turned. Oh my goodness. Kamugli and Book came together because that was Rangetsa just ahead of the turn 1 Norway car. Book trying to go up the inside, and there was nearly a touch between them, but then Kamugli came storming in, and Altea Book has got a very, very damaged Super Trofeo, and that was a hefty whack on the left front of that car into the barriers. So that means that the top 4 are all pro cars, and then you look at Denise Pope, P5 at the minute. There's April Karlsvard in the Realish Racing 69 car. She's done a now this is her first race in more female races by Thrustmaster Rockets. The Swede has done a fantastic job, got to P18 in qualifying, and now is running in a genuine P16. A great job by not just her in the 69 car, but then you also have to look at it. Kieran Parkin has also been behind the wheel of that, so that's a really solid, as there is more dramas for the 977, and there is Andy the Lab that has just been literally asked to exit stage right, left forcefully.
Yeah, I think a helping hand has been given on that one. This is a battle for 14th and 15th place. A little bit of contact, a little bit of rubbing here. This is Karlsvard versus Benchik. They're side by side out the corner, and Karlsvard going to have to give up that position because there goes Benchik up the inside. Oh, looks like a little bit of contact there, but they keep going on the entry to the final chicane here. And what a position there for Benchik to take that off of Karlsvard for 14th and 15th position. Great little battle going on there. And we've got another crash as well. And that is Altea Book and Andy Lab caught up in that one as well. Oh man, it is just all starting to go wrong.
And there is going to be some. I think there's going to be some, some very, very stern talking about rejoins. I mean, you could see from Altea Book's stream there that she literally came round, and then all of a sudden she's ending the labs there. She's had to avoid, and then all of a sudden the back right of Altea's car gets caught, spins her around, puts her in the wall. So after all that hard work that Giorgio Simonini has done, and also Altea Book in that car, that has now you can see that car has been heavily damaged, and that was a return to garage, puts the car in the pits. That's a real shame.
Yeah, it certainly is. And do you know the one bit that I caught? We got a very brief glimpse of her stream there. Her face, her eyes, absolutely on stocks. The panic that goes through, especially in these team events, when you're looking at it and you've got the pressure of thinking, I've got another driver to look after as well. I've got to bring the car home in one piece. When stuff like that goes on, suddenly what normally takes like maybe say 5-10 seconds to think about, you're racing through it in like 3, 4, 5 seconds, and you can't think properly. And that is one of the things that is going to be learned by a lot of these drivers here. It's a very, very simple mistake, but very costly. And at 2 minutes left to go in the race, I mean, that is absolutely gut-wrenching, Alex.
It is, because the amount of time, the amount of practice that these drivers have put in, and now Jenny Camugli being hounded by Sarah Moore up the inside through into Asta. Sarah Moore sends it, and Camugli tried to turn in there, and Sarah Moore was sort of like, well, the thing is that for those that know Sarah Moore, raced in W Series in 2019. She's also a Brit Car champion in her own right in a Ginetta, and it's great to have her back for season 3. But that just shows that even the real life racers will get stuck in and get their elbows out, and Sarah Moore just proved that in spades.
Yep, certainly is. So we're coming in towards the end of the race then, and it is still Nori Rose that is in the lead. I was pausing my breath there as I looked at Josie Austin trying to have a look up the inside of Verena May. Can't quite make it stick as they go through in towards turns 3 and 4, but it is Nori Rose that is in the lead of this race at the moment, commandingly so just now, doing a cracking job in that 9.56 car. This is going to be the final lap that they're on just now. Another yellow flag briefly comes out at the moment, so it's Nori Rose for Lou Gobi, Mia Svensson in third place. It's then Sarah Dove in fourth and Denise Pope in fifth place, but all eyes are on Nori Rose just now, coming down towards the final chicane and out of the final corner. It's absolutely nothing out of the ordinary for Nori and Mia Rose as they come across the line to win round 1 of More Female Racers by Thrustmaster Rockets. And a huge congratulations to Charlie's Esports and Sarah Merkel's flying as the end of the start and finish straight there, tries to get going again and somehow manages to avoid 2 cars coming on. The bad day goes from bad to worse. Oh my goodness me. Oh, what can you say? Sarah Moore is absolutely furious right now. The suspension is broken on that car. It's bouncing to the right hand side. Oh, dearie me. Josie Austin coming across the line. She'll finish in 10th place, getting that position. We didn't see that, but Verena May loses out to Josie Austin. Cracking job to take the win for the amateur class. Great stuff there. And Annalise Riot here for Team Cake, Mascara and Hope comes across the line in 19th place. But oh my goodness me. Up the inside, this is the battle for 12th and 3rd place. This is between the silver, in fact that's one of the pro cars, but Denise Pope comes across the line to take that 5th place there for the number 79 car. And goodness me, silver class then for Denise Pope. It's going to be the number 18 of Sarah Fair in the Team Cupcakes car for Pro-Am. And I need to take a little bit of a breather there. Goodness me. Alex, your thoughts on that past 60 minutes?
I'm going to be completely honest here. I didn't know what to expect. Obviously, I've been keeping a keen eye on more female races by Thrustmaster Rockets over the past 2 seasons. I think our point in terms of having a single series spec car now has changed everything again, because GT4s were well received, GT3s were well received. We go into a spec series with one car. It now has shown that there are weaknesses in people's arsenal, and also to hold it at Zolder for the first round. Whoever thought of that idea, I think that has just really just shown how tense that race was, because we didn't know what was going to come along at certain points. 4 different classes. It was. I didn't know what to expect, and to be honest with you, I'm looking forward to seeing how the season develops, because straight off, first of all, congratulations to all 4 class winners. Aonori and Mia Rose, the defending overall champions in Pro, from Jean Alesi Esports Academy. I mean, have to give credit where credit is due. I said about keeping the noses clean. Denise Pope and Rob Tablin definitely did that all the way through. And NSN Racing Wild Things got, the win in semi-pro. I think the standout performance was Josie Austin's qualifying performance for an AM car. and they were P9. They finished, what was it? P10 at the end of the race? Brilliant. It's a great series. Of course, yeah. Education, learning is going to have to be done between this and the next race. However, to have this as part of the SimGriz broadcasting schedule here on YouTube, kudos to everyone behind the scenes to get it done. And I think the single car aspect has really changed it for, I think, a really good platform. Plus the fact is we've had double the classes, double the action tonight, David. And that's what's made it really exciting.
Yeah, it certainly has. Right, we've got drivers coming in thick and fast for driver interviews, so let's go and have a little bit of a chinwag. I think we'll first off have a chat to Sarah Fair and Sebastian Handler, who took the Pro-Am honours tonight, so we'll bring them in and have a little chat. Good evening to Sarah Fair and to Sebastian Handler. Congratulations on taking the win for Pro-Am tonight. Sarah, that was a bit wild tonight.
I am so disappointed I don't have a bottle of champagne to open for you. Oh my goodness me. What a race. Right,
so hang on, let's get a bit of paper and we're going to write down, get a bottle of champagne
for the next one,
time out. Yeah.
Don't worry, I promise. I'll have it ready.
What was the start of the race like, Sarah?
So here we were sitting celebrating P1 in qualifying, and I don't know what went through my head, but I thought it was a good idea to start the race in the qualifying setup with 14 litres of fuel. So as you can imagine, going around the warm-up lap was just us madly scribbling over trying to get what our tyre pressures are so we can rebuild the pit stops, how much fuel we need. And unfortunately, somewhere in that mess, I started out of my position. I'm not exactly sure what happened there. We're going to have to go back and look at it, but I don't know. I blame the chaos. And I don't know what happened after that. It just kept getting better and better. And we survived. We didn't crash. We had a little mishap where I got a bit close to the wall, but other than that, it all just worked. I've never had that happen before. I'm so happy.
Well, you sound very, very emotional, Sarah, and rightly so. I mean, that is a dream start to the championship for Team Cupcakes. But Sebastian, gonna jump over to chat to you for a second there. You obviously took the reins for that middle stint, and I mean, Sarah gave you a really good position to be in. What was it like doing that 20 minutes?
It was very weird. Like Sarah said, we started on qualifuel, so we were in a little very early. So I was driving around with mostly the other main drivers driving around. So there was quite a pace difference for many cars. It worked out. It was very, very weird, but I had fun.
And how have you two been getting on in terms of the lead up to this event? Has there been a lot of work between you two in terms of working on setups, or is it just a case of turning up for the race evening?
Oh no.
We had a busy week. Last week, both of us, and Seb's doing Sprint Cup, so we didn't get as much practice in as we wanted. And I don't know what happened this weekend, but I was sitting down on, Saturday afternoon doing 37s around here. And after like hours and hours of Seb sitting with me saying, go faster through this corner, go faster through this corner, we got it down to 33s. And I don't know, like the consistency just came. I don't know if it's the car or the fact that we have a Ferrari badge on the back or what it is that makes up for it, but it worked out. And we didn't put as much practice in as we would have wanted. We're definitely going to be putting in a lot more for the races coming up, but I don't know. We just work so well as a team, and like even in full crisis mode like tonight, things just came together.
Well, it's all gone right for you, and if that is what it's like on minimal practice, I am scared to think of what you two are going to be capable of further down the championship. But congratulations, Sarah Fair and Sebastian Handler. Well
Thank
done
you
on
so
taking the
much.
Pro-Ams tonight.
Can I take a second just to say thank you to everybody, because I've like seen the cupcake name in chat and stuff. Thank you so much. Like, you have no idea how happy it makes us. Like, thank you.
I get the feeling you're wanting to do a happy squee, Sarah.
You have no idea. I'm ready to go like dancing or something now. I haven't been this excited since I started sim racing. Like, this is the most amazing feeling. Thank you so much for like providing a platform and everything to get us into sim racing and everything. Like, thank you so much.
It is our absolute pleasure. Have a fantastic night, Sarah Fair and
You
Sebastian
too.
Handler. Take care, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Wow. That was awesome, not gonna lie. That was one of the most positive, uplifting interviews I think I've ever done. Bless her. She was so happy for that. And yeah, that is exactly why we do it. Right, we'll move on to AM winners because we've got tons of interviews coming up. So yeah, let's bring in Josie Austin and her teammate, which of course was Rydian Lloyd Davis. So we'll bring them in for a very quick chat. But good evening to Team Cake, Angel Cake, Josie Austin and Rydian Lloyd Davis. Well done on taking the AM.
Thank you very much.
Josie, we're going to jump into you first. Team Cake, that is, that was quite a result.
I have a massive turbocharged mouth ulcer right now, so I can't actually talk.
Right, Rydian, you're super sub. You're going to be the voice of Team Cake, Angel Cake tonight then. Josie, I hope that gets better for you soon. That sounds absolutely horrible. But Rydian, talk us through your part of that race.
I thought I was only going to be a supporting act. I didn't honestly believe we'd get such a result this evening. Personally, I just attributed to Josie's incredible driving, as usual.
That was some of the best driving I've ever done.
This feels kind of like one of those dodgy phone numbers that you would phone up just to hear Josie whispering. But Rydian, on that note, obviously, I mean, it's a fantastic start to the championship for the team. Mm-hmm. And, you know, really, Josie did everything possible to put you in a great position. But there was one point that I wanted to talk to you about. Mm-hmm. You got the contact from a car behind you, yes, and then went off. How was the car damaged at all, or?
I did get a report that the car had slight light damage, but thankfully it felt completely drivable. So I thought, okay, I could just keep on driving as well as I can and hope that it hasn't cost me any time, really.
Yeah, it was about 5 seconds of damage, but we just let it sit on the car because it was fine. Mm-hmm. And Ridge did a great job of handling the situation.
And looking forward to the rest of the season, Rydian. I mean, what's your hopes? Do you think you'll be able to compete for the amateur championship?
Well, with a result like tonight, you would think, well, that's what we're aiming for. If we've got the pace, then we'll take the fight to everybody else in the amateur championship.
Well, looking forward to it. Rydian Lloyd Davis and Josie Austin for Team Cake, Angel Cake. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, and we'll see you next time in round 2.
Thank you very much.
So, there we go. My goodness me, I'm not going to lie. Poor Josie, that voice. Goodness me.
Dear. Can you stop putting yourself out of the frying pan and into the fire, please, David, every time something weird comes
I thought that was my role here. Right, let's go and have a chat with our silver leaders. That was, of course, Denise Pope and Rob Taplin from NSN Racing Wild Things in the number 79. So we'll bring them in. And there we go, Rob Taplin. And Alex, I think we'll let you have a chat for just now.
Yeah, well, Denise, Rob, congratulations. Fantastic effort. Now, one of the things I mentioned to David earlier on in the broadcast was about keeping your noses clean. And you two definitely did that. Well done. P5. Did you both even think that the top 5 might have even been possible with everything that was going on tonight?
I think, like, the race overall, no, I didn't expect that at all. I thought we'd be competitive in our class. But I didn't think we'd be that high up in the race overall at all. I also thought there'd be a lot more incidents around us, and I've heard like there's been quite a few behind us, but I think we were just lucky to qualify quite well and kind of leave all that stuff behind us.
Yeah, Rob, let's just come to you now. Obviously, the strategy was well timed because both yourself and Denise ran into sort of like 21 to 22 minutes for your respective stints. It really paid dividends to give the team as much as an opportunity as possible to get up towards that top 5 overall around what is very much a demanding and technical circuit.
Yeah, it worked quite well in the end. When Denise started out, she had really good pace, so we thought we'd try and just run long and hope that we can kind of, for want of a better phrase, mistime the pit stops so that we'd be the faster ones out versus the other cars at the time. It did mean I came out in a bit of a tight spot when I started my stint, but we managed to jump, I think it was about 6 or 7 seconds by the time we re-swapped again, just with those 2 or 3 laps I could do at the end. So it worked really well.
And just really, for final question for the pair of you, thoughts ahead of Monza in a couple of weeks' time?
Oh God, Monza T1. That's my own thought.
I think help is the word that comes to mind.
Eloquently put. So Denise Pope, Rob Taplin from NSN Racing Wild Things in the 79 are semi-pro winners, 5th overall. Congratulations, guys. Great job tonight.
Thanks, Alex. Cheers.
And all I would say to that, Alex, is it GT racing if we don't have Monza in turn 1? I mean, it's a staple. It goes hand in hand, doesn't it?
Well, especially considering of what we're using for Season 3 on more female races by Thrustmaster Rockets, I think it would be sacrilege if we didn't.
Yeah, exactly. Right, we've saved the best for last, and they certainly were the best by far tonight. The cream of the crop. It is, of course, the Jean Lacey Esports Academy 956 outfit of Mia Rose and Aonori Rose. Let's bring them in. Ladies, wow, what a race tonight. And again, we shouldn't really be surprised by this, but you two were just on a completely different level.
Yeah, I think coming into this one, I think we're both sort of questioning where we're going to be in terms of pace, seeing as sort of for us was like the first time driving this combo, and yeah, really from qualifying we were worried, and then after the first couple laps of the race we were more worried about lap cars, and the cars behind we were just pulling away. So yeah, eventful race with the lap cars, but it was quite fun.
Eventful race is maybe an understatement. With all the hell kicking off left, right and centre throughout the race, how did you two find it actually navigating your way through it? Were there any close shaves for you two?
Quite a bit actually, because I avoided a few crashes. Notably, I think a GTWR car in Pro Class towards the end. Then after that, it was mostly spotting for one another when the other was in the car, using the map.
What I'm thinking as well is, obviously it was a dominant performance in round one. I think we're going to have to do something like, 150 kilos of ballast or something like that for race 2. Would you guys be okay with that?
No,
Absolutely
no,
not.
no. I have PTSD from ballast, and I don't want to relive those memories.
How does the ST, the Lamborghini, compare to some of the other cars? Because obviously it's a bit neglected in Assetto Corsa Competizione, and we do try and give it just as much love as we possibly can, but obviously very different from last season.
Personally, I didn't mind it until I tried a practice race yesterday at Monza, because that's when I realized the side mirrors are useless, and in VR you can have the virtual mirrors. So essentially the car has no mirrors for me, and I hate it.
Yeah,
that's it.
And for someone who is on a single monitor, the mirrors are okay if you get the virtual one. But I would say in terms of driving the car, don't expect TC to save you like a GT3 car. It'll save you when you're already in trouble and when you're going into the wall. We had that a couple times today. I think we were sort of TC wanted to kick in when we were about to die, but it's sort of like a mix of the GT3 and GT4 car per se. Like, it has more power than a GT3 car, but it has sort of less grip than a GT3 car, both aerodynamically and I'd say mechanically. Like, even if this car runs the exact same tires in a GT3 car, it doesn't use them as a GT3 car does.
Final point
then. It's definitely
sorry.
Harder to drive than a GT3 or a GT4, at least in my opinion.
Sorry about that, Inori. I was just about to say, in 2 weeks' time we move on to Monza for the next round. Are we both feeling quite comfortable towards that?
Yeah, quite for myself. I think Mia is as well.
Yeah, I think the qualifying round sort of helped us with that. Like, going into this race, we were sort of very... we didn't do a lot of laps like we wanted to in practice, but I think for Monza we should be pretty much on the pace and good to go.
Very, very much looking forward to it. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Mia and Zenori Rose. A stunning start, nothing other than what we expected from you two, and we move off into 2 weeks' time. We'll see you then.
See you then.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So, Alex, there we go. That is the interviews out of the way, and that is us for tonight. Another successful round of more female racers by Thrustmaster Rockets. Season 3 gets underway in the most spectacular way possible here at Zolder, and so many talking points tonight.
And then there'll be more talking points in just a couple of weeks' time on May 10th when the second round heads to Autodromo Nazionale di Monza. Plenty of content on the way here on the Sim Grid. We've got Battle of the Outcasts with the Emil Fry Jaguar and the Reiter Engineering REX GT3 this coming Thursday, before Endurance Cup Season 3 by Thrustmaster heads into the 3 hours of the Hungaroring. The second round of Sim Grid VCO World Cup will head to the bigger brother of the circuit we've been at tonight, Spa-Francorchamps, for the Thrustmaster 24 hours of Spa qualifying happening on the 13th of May, and then the race once around the clock starting at around about 1300 Central European summertime on the 15th of May. Sprint Cup, we've got, well, funnily enough, we're back here again. Funnily enough,
hello,
on May the 6th. And then we've got the final round of Sprint Cup Season 3 at Suzuka on the 20th of May. Then we've also got, we'll have round 3 of more female races by Thrustmaster Rockets at Spa, which will be at Spa. Also, you can see a big thank you as always to our partners at Thrustmaster and Coach Dave Academy. You can also get world-class training from professional drivers such as Dave Perel, Nick Foster and Jordan Pepper, amongst others. But yeah, what a start to more female races by Thrustmaster Rockets. 2 weeks' time should be an absolute blast, because it will be at full throttle for around about 60% of the lap at the Cathedral of Speed at Monza in Italy.
Yep, that's right. Thank you so much to Alex Goldschmidt for joining us tonight. It is going to be a brand new addition to the Sim Grid next time out at Monza. It is going to be Laura Luft who is joining us in the commentary box for that. But I have been David Christie. Alex, again, thank you for joining us tonight. A huge thank you to our production team behind the scenes of Mike Yao and of Michael Hamlet. And as always, huge thank you to our partners, as Alex was saying, Coach Dave Academy and of Thrustmasters for making this happen. Have a wonderful, wonderful night, everyone, and we'll see you very, very soon.